Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome. Holy cow. I feel like it's been a while. I guess you about your dog. Tell me what you love about your dog. Sorry, hold on. It's a little loud. Yeah, tell me. Hold on. Just going to get a little bit more light in here. Okay, so for those of you who are new here to the 30-day Perfect Pupford Facebook group. Is that the name? I think that's the name. My name is Devin. I work at Pupford. I help with a lot of things, marketing, website. I do these lives. I do all those different things. Yeah, so please. Oh, good question. Jess Lavaroni. Lavaroni? Lavaroni. Let's just put this out here to begin with. If I slaughter your name, if I just absolutely butcher your name, like, I'm sorry. Just don't take it personally. Yeah. Okay, so Jess asked, this is a good question. My dog is in a cone right now from being neutered, and he growls very viciously at times. Is this just because he's annoyed at the cone? Good question. So my follow-up question to you, and I'm assuming I know the answer is no, but has your dog growled in the past? Has your dog shown these signs in the past? Has your dog done these types of things in the past, or is it just with the cone? Let me know on that. Jacqueline said hello. I'm excited for this live tonight. So we're going to go through some training questions. I'm going to wait for a response from Jess and further discuss her question. And we are going to let you, I don't know why I say we. I guess I like to say we because I'm talking for Pupford in a sense. But we're gonna do two things on this live beyond Q&A. Number one, we're going to do a giveaway. Number two, /2.5/3 is I'm going to let you know about an awesome new product that we are launching this weekend, Saturday. That's 2 days from now. Even less, really, because we'll launch Saturday morning. But I'm going to let you know about it a little bit early so you can get excited, basically, right? And we're going to do this live. The giveaway is going to be for this product that we're launching on Saturday. But I don't want to give it away just yet. I want to get some more questions in. So, Jess, if it hasn't been happening in the past, okay. She said, only when he's been very overtired. He barks at other dogs on leash. What? He barks at other dogs on leash, but when he's off leash, he gets scared and only interacts with dogs smaller than him. We've been bringing him to socialization class to try to meet new dogs. Yeah, so it might not be just the cone. I mean, now that you're saying that, it might be an overall just sense of a little bit of reactivity, a little bit of maybe fear. I don't know if I'd peg it to like aggression per se. What I would do in this case, to be honest with you, if there's this other history of being very scared of other dogs and you're having trouble socializing him, I would consider getting an in-person trainer, just because here's the thing. When our dogs growl, it's not, how do I say this correctly? We shouldn't be mad when our dogs growl, right? Like, our dogs growling, it's a way that they communicate with us. It's them saying to us or to other dogs or to, whatever it might be. They're saying, hey, I'm not comfortable with this situation. I'm not comfortable with whatever's happening to me. I'm giving you, a warning that, hey, I need more space, or hey, I need to get out of this situation. So first of all, like, this is just kind of a general thing for you, Jess, and for everyone is, you shouldn't get upset at your dog for growling. I look at growling as a good thing in a sense, because again, it's my dog telling me something. So with the cone in particular, your dog might be telling you, hey, I'm in pain, and you coming towards me and potentially interacting with me, I'm giving you kind of a warning growl of, please be careful with me because I'm in pain and I don't know how to react. Like, think about ourselves too, right? Like, when you are in a lot of physical pain, like if you had a surgery or something, you're typically a little bit grumpy and you have a little bit less patience with people. So think about it from that perspective of the dog. In regards to barking at other dogs on leash, that is something that is pretty normal, happens a lot. And I would recommend looking at different training techniques and tools that you can use to, overcome the fear from your dog and them being reactive. So yeah, those are like just a couple general ideas. But again, when people, if you're really feeling like it's becoming vicious, or if you're really concerned about your dog's lack of ability to interact with other dogs or humans, I don't say this as a cop-out answer. I truly just say, like, you should look into an in-person trainer who, works off of positive reinforcement, because, the couple sessions that you might put in towards that, I know it costs money, but that money is often much better spent, because issues like, a dog being very reactive or potentially becoming aggressive and biting other dogs or humans, and it's like the cost of a few training sessions is well worth overcoming those difficulties. And in reality, finding answers for those things online, you can find good ideas, but the power of an in-person trainer who is skilled and qualified is going to pay off in the long run. So that would be my general advice to you, Jess. So, okay, Jacqueline said, we found that our dogs love antlers. What is the difference between paying the extra money and getting them from a store versus using the antlers when... your answer cut off there, Jacqueline. I need a little bit more to know versus using the antlers when ... waiting. Okay, Robin Crane asked, is there a reason why a puppy only bites one person in the house when playing when that person tells them to leave it, or no? So you're saying, just so I understand you correctly, your dog seems fine around other dogs, but then one person in particular they seem to be more bitey with. Oftentimes that just comes with, that'll happen. A habit has been created typically where your dog is inadvertently usually being told by that person, like maybe they like to rough play with them, or maybe, the way that the human is interacting with the dog interacts differently with, oh, hold on. Someone, hey. My wife's not here right now, so I'm kind of on dog duty and Facebook Live duty. So, doing a little double time there. Yeah, a lot of it just comes down with how that person might be interacting with the dog. And because everyone interacts differently with the dog, a lot of that might come from, a lack of consistency from that person, or like, for example, in our home, if my wife watches this, don't be upset that I say this, but she is a little bit more like loose and relaxed with our dogs in regards to like them jumping in certain situations on her when they're excited, whereas I'm not as much. And so sometimes that leads them to jump on her, right? Like that's just an example. And that's where it's like, that's one of the things where in your household, like, if you're living by yourself, right, like you don't have to worry about this, but when you're living with other people in whatever context, you just have to be on the same page. You need to kind of set ground rules with people, and really whatever training techniques you are implementing, you need to get everyone on the same page with you. And that's not always easy. And that's like beyond dog training, right? That's more of like people, human connection, interaction type of thing. But as much as you can do to get everyone on the same page will probably help alleviate that situation. So hopefully that helps. So Jacqueline said, I'm wondering what the difference is between store-bought antlers and getting them from the deer or elk, as in hunting. Sorry, Flash was jumping on me and hit my phone. Haha, no worries. Yeah, I mean, in reality, if you are in a situation where you can go out and go hunting, right, and get those deer or elk antler for yourself, and just make sure that you can sterilize them and make sure that they're clean, then it's probably about the same, honestly. I think the whole selling of deer or elk antler originated because a lot of people don't live in a situation where they can go and get a Sorry, my dog's making a weird noise. We sell elk antlers at Pupford. I think you guys can hear that noise. My dog's just like, they do this thing where they'll lay on the ground and like, it's not even wrestling. They just like roll their heads around and like bite each other in the face, but it's like super playful. I think that's what's happening. I don't really know because one of the dogs is behind me. Michelle Klein said, getting my kids on the same page has been a huge struggle for me. Everything I'm trying to train gets sabotaged. Yeah, it's tough, honestly. Like I feel for people with children. I don't have children right now, and not like right now, but like we don't have kids. And yeah, getting kids, training a puppy, especially when you have kids, like it's very, very difficult to, yeah, it's very, very difficult. All you can do is keep trying, really, in that situation. Here's a good question, and this is one that, let's just dive into it, or let's talk about it. So Zachary Werhan said, would you consider using a spray bottle as abusive? Sorry. So let's talk about the word abusive, right? Because abusive, in my mind, has a really, really strong connotation of you are physically like hurting your dog. Like for someone to like get arrested or get their dog taken away for animal abuse, like that has to be like, it's a fine line, right? Like there's a difference between abusive and like aversive. So I wouldn't necessarily call a spray bottle quote unquote abusive. I don't think if you spray your dog with water, you are quote unquote abusing them. But I do think that it is aversive. Yes, in principle, it is aversive, because essentially what you're doing is when your dog acts a certain way, you are adding a punishment to them, right? The term when we talk about training in regards to, in regards to punishment is you're trying to deter the behavior from happening more often, and positive meaning you're adding something to their environment. And usually that positive punishment is what it's called. Usually in that case, it's something that's not desirable for the dog, and it deters them in the future from doing that same thing again. So yes, I would consider spraying your dog with a water bottle aversive. I wouldn't consider it abusive, but again, that's kind of like, they're two different things. Here's the thing about a spray bottle, and there's a lot of conversation in this community, and we here at Pupford, obviously we partnered with Zach on this course, who is, positive reinforcement based. At Pupford, we are positive reinforcement. We are 100% proponents of positive reinforcement. And the reason why is, there are multiple studies, and studies continue to come out, that aversive training methods cause stress. They make our dogs less attentive, and they can hinder our dog's ability to learn. And that's why we take a pretty strong stance here in the community too, of if people are recommending aversive methods, we teach the opposite. We teach how you can accomplish something. You can accomplish overcoming that behavior without using aversive methods. So here at Pupford, we recently launched a podcast. It's called the Perfect Pup Podcast, to go along with this class, in essence. Well, the name at least. And our most recent episode, we dove pretty deep into this. It's like a 25-minute episode, where Mike and I were talking about different studies that have come out, reasonings as to why not to use, punishment-based and aversive-based methods. And really the science is there. The studies have been done. It's just, I don't know. I'm not singling you out, because I know you were just asking a question, but I think that there's a really slippery slope that people get into with justifying using punishment, justifying you can accomplish, I'm going to say, dang near anything using positive reinforcement. So that's my 2 cents on that question. Okay, so a couple other questions that have been coming in here. So we had a question from, well, before I move on to that question, I got to show you guys something. I was gonna wait a little bit longer, but I want to talk about these. Okay, so for many of you who have been in this community for a while, or you're new here, you've probably seen that we here at Pupford, we have training treats, and they are, all bias aside, some of the best training treats out there. And I'll tell you why. Because they are much healthier than on pretty much every other training treat on the planet. They are sized perfectly for training, and we put a ton in each bag. That's something that we just thought was really important as a company, was to, to give people a lot of training potential. We're a training company. We focus a lot on it. And as part of that, we want our treats to be, they're not just something to throw your dog for fun. These are tools. It's a tool that you can use to improve behavior. And that's really what we're all about here at Pupford, is to help people improve their relationship with their dog. So as many of you know, we have beef liver treats, training treats, and we have sweet potato treats. And we've carried both of those for a number of months now, and we are super excited. I mean, this has been a long time coming, but we are launching this coming weekend these brand new freeze-dried chicken training treats. That's the bag. I'm going to open them up. Wow, this is the first time I've actually opened a bag of these treats. Here come my dogs. They know. Can I help you? They smell good, obviously, because the dogs are just running over here. Let's see if I can't get Sunny in the picture. Come here. She's too good. So here are the chicken training treats. Let me get up here so you can see a good visual. That's kind of what they look like. Is it focusing right? Yeah, so these can be used on their own. You can break them up into smaller pieces. That's what a lot of people do. But these are just 2 ingredients, chicken and then mixed tocopherols, which is just a natural antioxidant. It's a vitamin E blend. Helps the treats stay together, helps them last longer. So we are very, very, very excited to be launching these treats. So many dogs love chicken. I mean, we've probably all used chicken at one point or another. And, we understand at Pupford that for a lot of people, like for many of your training sessions, you'll use like a deli meat or, boiled chicken breast, which is great. But the power in these training treats is, beyond them being sized very well, low calorie, healthy, they keep well at room temperature. And that's something that I have learned a lot in my time, like raising my dogs and working on training things and practicing different behaviors and stuff, is you need to have treats throughout your house to be able to jump into those impromptu training sessions. That's just how it goes. If you only rely on, deli meat or cut up hot dog or chicken breast or whatever, like in most instances, like you might be fine, but, you run into situations where, oh no, we don't have any deli meat cut up. Like we really need to work on this training session, or, oh no, like someone's coming to the door. Let's work on like redirecting and getting into a sit, and like, oh no, we don't have any cut up. So what I've loved about these treats is that I can put them in, like Tupperwares or even in the bags, and just put them around my house in different places so that I am ready to train whenever that opportunity arises. Especially when you have a puppy, those opportunities are going to come all the time. So it's important to be prepared. Michelle Klein said, my 12-year-old son ate the sweet potato ones. Yeah, I mean, he's probably fine. It's just sweet potato. But that is also hilarious. 12-year-old. I mean, when I was 12 years old, I pretty much ate anything that anybody would offer to me. Just always hungry, And I still have entered in this giveaway. I'm just going to be picking a random comment. But someone is going to win a bag of these new chicken training treats. They don't launch until later this weekend, so we won't ship them out to you until next week. But this is an opportunity for you to win a bag of our brand new freeze-dried chicken training treats. So one other thing that's going on with these, and I'll kind of give you, I don't want to dwell on the treats too long. I'm not here to just hawk products. Like, I am here to answer Oh, Sunny, what are you doing? Uh-oh, dogs are trumping around on my computer. Can you come over here? Hey, I need you. Yep, over here. Just don't sit on my laptop. Sorry. Oh, and here comes the third dog. It's just chaos in here right now. I opened the treats, and they haven't left since. So that's what's happening right now. Michelle said he loved them. He's still alive and asks for more every once in a while. My dogs are walking around my computer, so if this stream gets disconnected, you know why. Hey. I need you guys to just relax a little bit. Oh, no. I know. Nope. Hey, okay, yep. This is why I can't really bring treats in here. Or usually I close the door, but my wife's gone, so I had to have the door open so I could hear what was going on with the dogs. I'm trying to just overcome this and just ignore them, but it's not really working that well. They're very persistent. They know a good treat when they smell one. Okay, so yeah, leave any comment. You'll be entered to win a bag of these new chicken training treats. So one other thing that happened with these is we've kind of gone through a reformulation, and a couple things. Basically, one thing that happened is we made our bags a little bit too small on this new run of these treats. Just one of those things that happens. And so what we're doing on this first run of these treats, the new chicken training treats, is they're going to be priced the same as our beef liver treats, and you're going to be getting 600 treats. What we're doing is we're sending people two of these bags. So when you purchase one of these bags, one bag of chicken training treats, you're actually going to be getting two of these, just because we had a little bit of an issue with the bag. But it's your guys' gain, because you're getting 600 treats for, the price that we usually sell, about 450. So it's an awesome deal. That's coming Saturday. Keep your eyes peeled. Any comment's going to enter you to win these chicken training treats. Okay, let's get to some more questions. Sorry. Whenever I get on these lives, I'm just talking, right? And so it's like, yeah, just get a little throat scratch going on. Okay, let's get to some more of these questions. So Jennifer Rock asked, how do you decide if two dogs are playing or actually fighting? Got a new dog, Husky, and he definitely enjoys playing with the Beagle, but the Beagle sometimes bares his teeth and growls. What's going on back here? Oh, what is happening? Oh my goodness. Wow, one of my dogs farted, and it's bad news. Hey, where are you going? My dogs are like walking around my computer, and there's cords. Can you just sit down? Good girl. Thank you. Yeah, it's a little chaos in here right now. Okay, sorry. The question was, how do you decide if two dogs are fighting? Sometimes the Beagle will bare his teeth and growl. I separate them, but then often the Beagle gets right back to playing. Since there's such a big size difference, and we are trying to be careful to make sure the Beagle doesn't get hurt or upset. But how do we know if it's play or needs intervention? This is a great question. And I think this is one that you could talk about for an extended period of time, because really this is the way to know this is to continue to learn and understand dog body language. So that's one thing that you really want to look out for when you're trying to determine, like, is this play fighting or is this actual fighting? So a couple of things to look for. Oftentimes when it's play, their growling is totally normal with a lot of dogs. A lot of dogs that play, my dogs growl all the time. Like you heard them earlier, they were growling, kind of playing with each other. They nip each other. They bite on each other's necks. For a lot of people that watch them, it looks aggressive. But one way that you can really tell that get stiff and like their legs kind of get stiff. So like you can kind of like, a lot of times those things happen together where their hair raises, their tail gets stiff, their legs get stiff, and it kind of like they become a little bit rigid and they're kind of like gearing up almost, you can tell. So that's one thing The baring of teeth, yeah, sometimes that can be a little bit of a sign that it might be getting overkill. Overkill is a terrible word, sorry. Bad word choice, but it might be becoming too much and turning into fighting. Sometimes as well, one thing to look for with your dog's body language is their eyes, like how they're interacting with their eyes. Sometimes they'll be like, sorry, so eyes, but then also like lip licking or yawning, as weird as that sounds. Like it can be like a sign of stress or like too much happening. Some dogs as well, like they'll kind of do like what's called like whale eye, where I think that's the word for it, where like they'll like kind of be looking at you, but they'll like look away, or, you know, doing that with the dog. So those are a couple things to look for. Here's like one note about, here's like one thing to keep in mind with dogs in general. Like I hate to say this and paint it with such a broad brush, because there are instances where this isn't the case, but a lot of dogs, like if you know their history, if you know that they're not like aggressive or are prone to fights or those type of things, you know, dogs do a pretty good job of like self-regulating each other. And so a lot of it is, you know, so for example, when we brought home our second puppy, so we already had our Puggle, who's 13. He was 12 at the time. We had a 7-month-old puppy, and then we brought home a 3-month-old puppy. And the 3-month-old puppy would terrorize our Puggle. His name's Buddy. She would terrorize him, like constantly in his face, constantly like trying to lick him and nip at him and wrestle, and like no matter what. She had no chill at all. Like she would go crazy on Buddy. And like we would watch it, we would monitor it, we would kind of let it go as much. But you know, there were a couple instances where we would separate them if we felt like it was becoming too much, or if, you know, it was obvious that Buddy was getting overwhelmed. But a lot of it too, we wanted that to continue, because we knew that Buddy of like basically, hey, you need to chill out. You know, he would give her like a little bit of a, he'd growl at her. He wouldn't like bite her, but, you know, give her like a little, not like a nip. It sounds so bad, but like it's kind of hard to explain. But he would kind of let her know, like, hey, you need to back off. Hey, you need to give me some space. And that's why puppy play dates are so important. And, you know, helping your dog become socialized with older dogs as well. You know, you do it slowly and carefully, but, you know, helping them learn to interact with other dogs is important. And part of that is learning how much play is okay, when it becomes too rough. And they do a pretty good job at, you know, self-regulating each other. But that doesn't mean leave your dogs and let them do whatever. But hopefully those points help. Jennifer, hopefully that gives you some ideas as to what to look for. Diana said, when Reynolds plays with his friends, I always make sure they both keep coming back for more play fighting. Yeah, and that's like one thing too, is you want to make sure that your dogs have when your dogs are playing in any instance, whether it's your own dogs at home or you know, you go to a play date or whatever, you want to make sure that your dogs have the capability to separate themselves from a situation if need be. You know, that's where I think a lot of problems occur, is when dogs get into too cramped of a situation and they don't feel like they have the ability to move away. They don't feel like they have the ability to leave the situation that might be stressing them out. And then that just increases their stress. And that's when things like fights break out between dogs. Oftentimes, I'm not saying every time, but that can be a factor in it. So, you know, like Diana said, it's great for like, if your dog's in an environment where, you know, they're able to run off and separate, and then they continue to come back together, that's usually a good sign that like, oh, hey, we're still up for playing. They're still having a good time. So hopefully those ideas are, hopefully that helps you out a bit there. Okay, so again, you can see it here. Any comment will enter you in today's giveaway bag of our new chicken training treats. These are coming out on Saturday. So once they come out, we will send the winner a bag. Sorry, one of my dogs just keeps ripping some farts, and it's not cool. Okay, so let's go on to another question here. Okay, so Christine Pleasant, sorry it took me a minute to get to your question. Hopefully you're still here. Christine said, my 10-month-old behaves well with my fiance, but will not relax with me. He not only plays with my fiance, but will lay down and sleep with him. The only thing Bailey, the dog, wants to do is play with me. I do all of the caretaking. How do I help Bailey relax? How do I help Bailey relax with me? So one thing that I'm just going to throw out here, and this might not be your specific situation, but a lot of our dogs feed off of our energy. This is just more of a general conversation. Our dogs feed off of our energy, right? They do a really good job of, in a lot of instances, recognizing, like, if you're high energy, you're amped up, like if you're getting frazzled and you're getting stressed out by like what your dog is doing, oftentimes they're going to like pick up on that, and it's going to just fuel what's happening even more. So one thing in particular to keep in mind, and you might already be doing this, is setting up situations where you are being calm around your dog, and you're encouraging your dog to be calm. Part of this too that you could do with Bailey is working on like impulse control / like teaching your dog place and teaching your dog to settle, because some dogs just don't know, like they haven't been, it seems like they don't have an off switch, right? And so sometimes we have to teach them what that off switch is. Sometimes we have to teach them like how to turn their brain off in a sense and just relax. So there's teaching place is great for that. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, essentially it's designating like a specific mat or a specific bed or a rug or something that's like, down the line you get to the point where you're asking your dog, hey, go to your place, and that's what they know to go there and lay down and relax. And that obviously takes time, but it's something that you can start training on. Essentially, you treat it like a lot of other behaviors. You start slow. You introduce your dog to the place, whether it be a mat or a bed or rug or whatever. And you when they step on it, you reinforce them. You eventually get it to where you connect the word place with them stepping onto that mat, and then you get them to lay down. And then you teach them to stay there for a little bit. Again, just like you would teach stay. You build up in slow increments. So that's one idea that often helps when you feel like your dog just like doesn't know how to relax around you, is teaching them how to settle, teaching them how to go to their place and relax. If you need more help with that, that's one of the games that I teach in 21 Impulse Control Games, which is available on the Pupford website. I lead those games. I teach the games. And it's, I go more in depth on how to teach place and give you kind of like step by step and like levels, like 1, 2, 3 of like what, like how to teach your dog place. Okay, so we had a couple more questions coming in. Again, remember, if you leave a comment, you're entered into today's giveaway for a bag of our brand new chicken training sheets. They're so new, they're not even available on the website. You can't find them on there, so keep that in mind. Okay, so let's see here. A couple more questions that we had come in. So, okay, Jazrani. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm saying that totally wrong. Jazrani. I'm just not even gonna try. Sorry, I'm bad with names. Said, my puppy will come home this Saturday. I have an exercise pen and a crate. We live in an apartment, and I have got a fake grass patch. Should this patch be in his pen or outside? I do not want to confuse him, but I'd like for him to have both the space at home to toilet and ask us to take him when he needs to as well. This is my first puppy as an adult, and I don't want to confuse him. Yeah, so that's a good question. I don't think that the real kind of key principle that you're wanting to accomplish here, outside of should it be in his pen or not, or should it be outside, or whatever it might be, is if you're gonna stick with, if you want your dog to be like pad trained or fake grass trained, and you're always gonna have it inside, then just treat that as your main place to go. But if you are gonna have situations where you want to do both, you can kind of split time, I guess. But the more important principle to focus on and to the more important principle that I think to focus on is sticking to a schedule and setting your dog up for success. because over time, if you're consistent enough, they will understand that, okay, grass patch is okay and outside is okay, no matter where you put it, if you train them correctly. And so, being very, very diligent, and I mean sticking to a schedule and like saying, okay, I'm going to set an alarm on my phone every 30 minutes. I'm going to take my dog out to go to the bathroom. I'm going to take them over to the grass patch to go to the bathroom. I'm going to, and you are consistent with that during the day. I can't begin to stress this enough, the importance of not over worrying or over relying on, like not, number one, not trying to rely on like something like, well, I want my dog to tell me first, or I want my dog to be, to use potty bells. And that's great. And you can train your dog to do those things as you progress in potty training. But in the very beginning, it's on you 100%. Like you just need to, whether you decide to put it in the pen or not, or outside, or however you do it, like you just need to be consistent. Like that is the most important thing with potty training, is consistency. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Hopefully that is helpful. Yeah, hopefully that helps you out. Christine said, I'm sure he's picking up on my frustration. My fiance literally has to do nothing and the dog will follow him everywhere. I will try teaching place. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's tough though. Like I can totally understand where you're coming from. Like we have all been there. It is hard to not get frustrated at our dogs, especially when they're puppies, and sometimes they drive you a little bit crazy. And, it's a constant struggle, I think, for all of us to remember to like be as calm as possible, be confident, be focused with our dogs. So just keep at it, keep sticking with it. Yeah. Okay. So here's another kind of good question that'll lead us into a good conversation. My first male dog, my first puppy, and my first small dog. He is only 7 pounds. What tips should I know when I take him? So the dog park conversation, or the dog park debate, is one that will probably be around forever. Here's the thing about dog parks. I'm not going to say don't go. I'm not going to say dog parks are bad. I'm not going to say you should never go to dog parks. I'm truly not, because I do think that in a lot of instances, dog parks can be a great opportunity and a great place for your dog to interact, get some energy out, do some socialization, meeting new dogs, that type of thing. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm going to talk about. Here's what I'll say. When big dogs and Sonny? It's a little chaos right now. When big dogs and small dogs are not separated, when they're in one dog park, that in itself is often a problem. Some dog parks have separate for large and dogs, so that's a start. So if your dog park does not have that, I would be a little bit weary. Is weary the right word? I would be a little bit concerned and why are my dogs making such weird noises? They're making these noises that I honestly don't think I've ever heard them make. Like they're like these whine barks, but not. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, because when big dogs and large dogs get together, a lot, especially like when there's puppies involved, a lot of big dogs don't recognize that they're big dogs. Like they don't understand it, and they can be way too rough with small dogs. Oftentimes what happens as well is small dogs will end up getting trampled. Small dogs will end up, not on purpose, just getting kind of bossed around. So that's one thing. Another thought on dog parks is if a dog park is anybody can come, there's no requirement, you don't have to fill out a form, you don't have to pay, there's no waiver, there's no anything. Basically, if there's no not requirements, but like if it's just like kind of a free-for-all, like that's also a concern. Because here's the unfortunate thing that happens with dog parks, and this is why they can become problematic, is you get a lot of people, they work 9 to 5, their dog might not get as much time or whatever, and or as much focus as they need. They're pent up, and the pup parent thinks, all right, dog's acting crazy. Let's go to the dog park. They'll play with the other dogs. They'll get their energy out. I can just hang out and scroll through Instagram. Perfect. And so they get there, they let their dog off, and unfortunately, a lot of people just do what I just said. They just let their dog go, and they get on their phone, and they are not paying attention to what's going on. And that is like, honestly, I think 90+% of the issues that happen with dog parks could be fixed if people would just pay better attention. Sorry, that's a high percentage. I would say, 75% plus could be fixed. And here's the thing is, even if you are very attentive to your dog and you are like constantly seeing what's going on, reading their body language, understanding how they're feeling, checking in and making sure things are still going good, that doesn't mean that the other pup parents are doing that. And that's the problem, is you get people who don't pay attention to their dog. Interactions start happening. The body language is starting to tell people that, this isn't good. This dog's uncomfortable. This dog's feeling bossed around. And then a fight breaks out because they're not paying attention. Usually the signs are there, but people either, number one, aren't paying attention, or number two, don't know what the signs are. So that's kind of a rant about dog parks. Again, I'm not saying don't go. I'm not saying all dog parks are bad, but unfortunately a lot of bad things happen at dog parks, oftentimes due to pup parents who just shouldn't be taking their dogs. Like, I unfortunately have been involved in too many pup parents would bring their dogs that have a history of, being rude and aggressive and, getting in fights, and they don't pay attention and their dog attacks. My dogs have been attacked at a dog park. So that's just what I'm saying is, like, if you experience that, your dog getting attacked at a dog park, it will make you very, very, very not excited to return to a dog park, because it's just bad. And here's the thing too. Let's talk about something that's like not talked about enough, I don't think. Once your dog, Mike and I, we work at Pufford, right? We were having this conversation today. Like, once your dog has been attacked, what is that? I don't know what noise my dog is making. I have no idea what she's doing. Once your dog has been attacked, unfortunately, like, they're not ever going to be 100% the same as they were before. And that is what's bad. That's what's so unfortunate about dog parks, is, no one has bad intentions. No one goes in thinking, all right, my dog's going to attack another dog today. But, once it does happen, it changes your dog's personality. It can make them very, very anxious around other dogs. It can make them very nervous. It can make them very, afraid, and then sometimes make them reactive because they feel like, I don't know if this dog's going to attack me. I got attacked, for example, by a husky last week. Like, who's to say this other different husky isn't going to attack me? I say husky because my dog was attacked by a husky, and now they are very kind of on edge around huskies. And so I don't know. It sounds like I'm telling you not to go, which I'm not explicitly saying don't take your dog to the dog park, but man, all things considered, like, I would try and find another route. Like, if you can set up like puppy play dates, maybe someone who has a yard, or you can go to a park that has a gated area that's not an actual dog park, or especially if you really feel like you need to go, you can go maybe at less busy times, like early in the morning, or at kind of the more slow times. Because that's the thing is, like, most dog parks, they have rules, but they're not enforced, because that's what I've seen. Like, unless people have to pay to go to that dog park and register or register their dog, people don't follow the rules. People don't care. People are lazy. I'm sorry. Like, I'm painting a very broad brush right now. And I'm now that you're asking this, I'm kind of like, yeah, man, I just probably wouldn't go. That's just me though. Like I said, I would much rather try to set up a puppy play date where the other dog, what the interaction is going to be like, the other pup parent, you know how they, are raising their dog, because that's the other thing too, is like, here's the thing is, someone brings their dog in who they are, I'm just going to say worst case scenario, right? Like they're abusing their dog, or they're super, using tons of punishment with their dog. That dog is scientific. Like that dog is going to be more reactive. That dog is more likely to be aggressive. And so that's why if you can get into a situation where the pup parent, how they're raising their dog, yeah. Sorry, and I didn't mean to like, I didn't mean to like go on a rant, Jacqueline. I'm not like singling you out for wanting to go to a dog park, because this is just like, the people want to go to them, and unfortunately, like, they've just become this place where people think they can just let their dog run free and just get their energy out, and that's where troubles happen. But again, take everything I said with a grain of salt, because maybe your dog park's great and maybe you'll have an awesome experience. I'm just kind of speaking more from the experience that I have had. Yeah. And like Michelle just said, sometimes your dog is like, there are going to be situations and where your dog is going to have an amazing time and come home super tired and have great interactions with other dogs and learn. And that's great too. Yeah. Michelle said, I watch the dogs and owners before I decide to enter. And that's a great idea. I mean, if you do decide you're going to go to a dog park, especially when you haven't been to before, have your dog on a leash, and just, you don't need to sit right up on the fence, but, go out near it and just kind of observe and see how the dogs are interacting, see if the dogs do whatever. I would not go in, because that is just trouble. Yeah. So, yeah, next topic. I know I went on that one for a little bit, but it's a good conversation. I think it's something that I wish was better in, it's something that I wish was a better situation than what it is, but hey, it is what it is, right? That's what they say these days. Okay. Just a reminder, leaving any comment will enter you into today's giveaway, which is a bag of our brand new chicken training treats. Sorry, give me just one quick second. I just need to like double check on my dogs. I'm having this like weird, like maybe something's going on. So just I will be back in less than a minute. All right, sorry, I am back. My dog was making kind of funny noises, and then they got very quiet, and I was like, that seems weird. Come to find out, one of the Kongs had just rolled under a dresser, and my dog couldn't get it, and she was just sitting there, so sad, just staring at it. She just wanted it so bad. She was being very good and not like barking like crazy, but she was like giving enough noise to let me know, like, hey, I need your help, human. Which is, it's how I imagine my dogs talk. Like, I need your help, human. Come on. Okay, let's get to some more questions here. So, Mimsy said, we love you for checking on your dogs. Thank you. Okay. Carla Brunn said, thanks for your question. She said, I'm trying to get my Shih Tzu to play fetch as an indoor exercise option, but she never retrieves the toy/ball so that I can reward her with a treat. Any suggestions, or are some dogs just never gonna ever do it? Or just not gonna ever do it? I definitely think that there are some dogs that have more of like a drive and desire to play fetch, but I don't think that you should give up completely, right? I think you can keep working on it. So here's my question. Number one, well, or maybe here's like an idea. and I don't know if maybe you've already tried this, because I don't know. So, find your dog's favorite toy, and don't think in your mind like, okay, I'm gonna do fetch right now. Just like get your dog to engage with the toy or play with it or follow it around, and just do like a very short throw. Like I'm talking like barely even, you can even just drop it and then get your dog to engage with it again. And then do that again. Get them to follow it around or get them to tug on it or whatever it is. If let's just say it's a tug toy. And then, keep doing that. And then the next time just toss it a little bit further. And then when they bring it back, you reward them with more play. And I think sometimes what happens when we're trying to teach fetch, and again, I don't know exactly what's happening in your situation is, but sometimes when we're trying to teach fetch, we, in our minds, we're like, all right, let's do this fetch. And you like go out in the yard and you get a chuck in, you just throw it and the dog just stares at you and you're like, this didn't work like I was hoping for. So if that and I'm not saying again that that's what happened to you, but yeah, sometimes I think we just like ask a little bit too much from our dogs to begin with, and that can be the same thing with fetch. So that's just one idea. Another idea, if you want to maybe try to you can maybe try to like maybe increase your dog's desire to chase things or kind of play like it's not really fetch for being prepared. A flirt pull. Scout, she is on one. A flirt pull is essentially like, it's like the stick that has like a string that comes on it, and it usually has like a little squeaker toy or just like a little like toy on the end, and you can kind of like move it back and forth. It really like kind of gets that prey drive going for your dog and gets them to chase. It's also a great way to work on behaviors like leave it, or teaching your dog to like kind of on off switch, right? Like where you can teach them to say, okay, stay or stop, and then you can start moving around and say, okay, go, and get them to like be a little bit more attentive to you when they're playing it and still be learning behaviors. So I would potentially look at checking out, hey Scout, what's up? Did you find your Kong? Come here. Let's see if I can get her to come up here. Come here. Yeah, come on. I know you're not supposed to jump, but I'm telling you to. Come on. Yeah. This is Scout. Can you see her little head? So show him your head. There she is. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Bubs. I'm trying to... Here, let's go a little down here. There's a Scout. Excuse the mess on the floor. Scout. She's trying to get the treats. What are you doing, Bubs? What are you doing? Yeah. I know. You're so excited. She loved... Okay. This was fun. I know. Okay. Let's get down now. Can you get down? Thank you. Oh, don't pull the cord. Good girl. There's a Scout for you. Oh, what is going on? Please don't crush these paint. Sorry. Hey. All right, everybody out. Hold on, folks. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry. This has been a little chaotic. I have like some like painting / like artwork on the ground. My wife and I have been planning on making like an art wall in our house, and it's on the ground, and they're dogs. They don't know what it is. They were just stomping all over it. So had to fix that situation. This is good. This is real life, We're doing a dog training Q&A. Like it's not always like, it's usually chaos, let's be honest. And I love it though. Okay. So Misaki Maruyuma said, excited about the new chicken training treats. My pup loves the beef liver training treats. Awesome to hear it. Carla said, yep, we play with flirt pull every day. It is her #1 favorite thing to do. So with that being said, Carla, it sounds like she likes the toy that's on the end. I think you said she. If it's he, I'm sorry. if it's on the end, can you take that toy off and try using that as like you kind of like what I said, starting very, very small with fetch and then working your way up. Sometimes what I've seen. Doing? Oh no. Oh, what happened? What? Oh no, we went black. Oh man, what is going on here? Oh boy, I don't know what happened here. What? Oh man. R.I.P. to whatever. I don't know what happened to my webcam. What is going? This is great. This is just real life. Oh man, this is good. I like this. Okay, we're back and better than ever. Woo! Good. This is a good one. This is real life live. Um, Patty Thornton said, I've had luck with my puppy watching my friend's older dog fetch and play tug. He learned quick. Yeah. Sorry. And then what I was saying as well before the cord went missing somewhere, is that sometimes I've noticed that I myself need to get a little bit more engaged in the fetch. Cause like, even with my dogs right now, like if I'm just sitting there, like on a chair, like playing fetch with them I'm not saying you're doing this, but for myself, like being a little lazy, it's like, if I get up and I'm like running around with my dogs, like sometimes that's how you can get them more engaged, is like you yourself, like have the ball and run a little bit and then throw the ball and like get them like more engaged in just like playing with you in general and making it more exciting. Cause sometimes, right. Like, cause sometimes, you know, the just the ball itself might not be amusing enough. And so sometimes getting yourself involved can be really, really helpful. So yeah. Yeah, they're wrestling again. Okay. Leslie Connor Curro asked, this is a good question. She said, how do you feel about medicine or CBD oil for aggressive / anxiety dogs? So here's the thing. Like, let me be like fully transparent. So hey guys, Scout, Sunny, what's going on here? You guys are just being awesome right now. I love you guys, but you guys are being a little crazy as Sunny just bites Scout's leg. So Pupford, we used to sell CBD oil. So we definitely personally like believe in it and feel like there's a lot of power in CBD. There's been a lot of studies that have been done on humans, and there's, you know, studies continuing to come out about dogs. And so that's like precursor number one, is that yes, like I do believe that CBD oil can be a great option for dogs in the right situation, but I don't think that it should be a first line of defense against things like aggression or anxiety. I think it can be a tool that can be used, but it shouldn't be the only one. I think, you know, you should focus on things like, so here's, let me find a link here for this real quick. So we definitely believe in, and a lot of, you know, quality dog trainers will subscribe to what is called LIMA, which is least invasive, minimally aversive. And this kind of goes for, I'll tell you how it connects to CBD. So number one is, you know, like when your dog has an issue or a problem, the very first thing you should do is look at their health, their nutrition, and physical factors, right? Like sometimes like those things alone can be causing these issues. After that, it's, you know, sometimes it's redesigning events or changing motivations or adding or removing potential things that cue these problem behaviors. And then after that, it's positive reinforcement. So it's like, there's definitely like some steps that you should take before just saying like, oh, I think my dog has anxiety, or, oh, my dog has aggression. let me just use CBD oil, it's going to fix everything. And I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but some people do get into that mindset. And so I think it's important to take necessary. CBD should not be a replacement for training. That's what I'm really trying to get down to here at the bottom of what I'm saying is, CBD is not a replacement for training. CBD is not a replacement for, going to a behaviorist or getting a professional trainer involved. That's just how it is. That's my thoughts on it. So yes, I do think that CBD oil can be great for a lot of dogs. We use CBD oil on our dogs sometimes when we go on road trips, or if our dogs are having a little bit of like hip pain, because one of my dogs has early signs of hip dysplasia, and our older dog just has a little bit of arthritis, so we use CBD for them from time to time. So I do think it can be a good option. I would discuss it with your vet. Also, I say that with a little bit of like a disclaimer, and that some vets, I'm just being frank here, like some vets just aren't up to date on how CBD can be useful, and so they might just throw it out immediately. But discuss it with your vet. But again, above all, CBD oil, it shouldn't replace training for aggression or anxiety or any other behavior, really, right? So yeah, that's I probably have time for one more question. Just a reminder here, hold on, stopped. All right. I was trying to give you a really funny visual. I was going to give you my dogs just laying on the ground wrestling like weirdos, but it didn't work. So couple more questions here. But again, one more reminder. Leave any comment to enter today's giveaway. And we're giving away a bag of our brand new, not even released chicken training treats. These come out on Saturday, so keep your eyes peeled. We'll post about it in the community. We'll email you about it. All that stuff. But someone's going to win a bag. They're going to be the very first person to get a bag of Pupford training treats. Okay. So... Okay. All right. Astrid, I see that you've asked this twice now, and it's an important question, and it's a tough one. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to give you an answer, and it's going to be an answer that is probably not what you want to hear. But here we go. Oh, here we go. Hold on. This is my dogs. This is what they do all the time. Oh, little pause. Sonny's like, what's going on? Oh, back at it. They just bite each other's faces all day long. Like, they probably do this for a combined hour a day, maybe longer. It's just chaos. I love it, though. They're best friends. Little pause. Oh, wait. Yep, there we go. Okay. Oh, I love it. That's good stuff. That's hilarious. I hope you enjoyed that little dogs just going at each other. Okay, so now for Astrid's question. So Astrid said, I have a husky that gets attacked in our neighborhood a lot by pits because everyone has a horrible open fence policy. Dogs will often run up behind us and attack my husky. My boyfriend has ended up in the ER from one pit. I've been bitten a bunch trying to get out of the situation. My golden retriever and I are now very nervous around other dogs coming near us. My golden will run in front of the husky and bark. How do I stop these behaviors and handle the fights when owners are nowhere? All right. There's a lot going on in this one. And first off, that situation sucks. It's super, super frustrating when people just let their dogs do whatever and don't seem to be paying attention to them, which sounds like is happening in this case. Very, very frustrating. Number two, so that's number one. Number two, what you said, everyone has a horrible open fence policy. I don't know where you live. I don't know the situation, but in most places, at least where I live, it is illegal to have your dog off leash, just like in a neighborhood running around unsupervised. So if you want to go the route of I mean, if I was in your shoes, this is what I would do. Number one, I would try and figure out who the owners are of the dog, and try and have a conversation with them and find a solution. That was what I would do first. If they are non-responsive or you can't even figure out whose it is, if you've been attacked multiple times, I'm just saying this, if I was in your shoes, I would have called animal control by now. Because a dog that is just out roaming free, attacking other dogs, that's not okay. The situation needs to be resolved. And unfortunately, okay, if you've called animal control, man, I don't know what to do beyond that in regards to like getting them to stop from that happening. I would continue to call animal control, and I would continue to escalate the situation if it is continuing. As in regards for what you can do, man, that's tough. Like, because it's really, really hard to, there's not really a great way to approach going out on a walk knowing, hey, my dog's probably going to get attacked. Is it possible for you to potentially, put your dogs in the car and go, or something, and go to a different area to go on the walks? Is it possible for you to, take your dogs to a park that, where you can give them the exercise? That's really good advice. I mean, I wish I had a better answer for you, Astrid, because it's like, with me not really seeing and being involved in the situation and where you live and what the situation is with the other owners, and you've called animal control and they haven't done anything, like, I don't know. I'm very sorry you're in that situation. As much as you can do to, if you can try and figure out where this is happening and just avoid those situations as much as possible. I know that I'm not giving a great answer, and I told you that it wasn't going to be a great answer, because that's one of those situations where it's like, man, you got to do as much as you can to like either just avoid the situation completely or find a way in which those dogs are not able to be out free. Yeah, I mean, if it was to that point where you called animal control, there's multiple dogs that are doing it, man, I know that this is like an awful answer, but like, again, if I was in your situation, I would avoid taking my dogs out in that area. I would take steps. I don't know what it would look like, but I would take steps to find ways to take them to different areas, or to a park where those dogs aren't going to be, or to a different neighborhood. Yeah, because it's you don't want your dogs to continue to be in that situation, because like you said, and like we talked about earlier, it just causes so many problems with your own dogs in the long run. I really hope that you can find a resolution for that. I know I didn't give you an amazing answer. I wish I had a snap my fingers, there's an answer. That's just a very delicate situation. But again, if I was in your shoes, I would do whatever I could to avoid taking my dogs on walks where those dogs could be present. Because even in my neighborhood, we do have a couple dogs who are notorious for getting out. And I just avoid those areas like the plague. Like, I just stay away. Susan Simone said, try getting your local TV news involved. Where I am, they like trying to help their viewers. Yeah, I mean, man, again, I would, yeah. In regards to helping your dogs and the fear that they've now developed and the anxiety, I'm not going to try and dive into that right now, because I would just 100% recommend getting an in-person trainer. Okay, so that's the last question I have time for. But I told you we're going to do a giveaway, and so dang it, someone's going to win some treats. What we are going to do, give me 1 second. I'm just randomly picking our winner here. And I'm going to type their name in. Hopefully they're still on. Let me make sure I spelled this right. Suspense must be killing all of us. All right, so thank you everyone who entered. Thank you for coming on this live. I love doing these lives. I'm going to try and get back into the habit of doing them more often. Life's busy. We're busy at Pupford. We are launching a bunch of new products this month. We've got some awesome things rolling out. I'll just tell you that. Like I said, we've got these chicken treats that are coming out this weekend. We've got, I don't know if I should tell you this. We've got like some jerkies, like chicken jerky and salmon jerky, like bigger treats. We've got those coming out in like a week and a half. Holy cow, I'm excited. There's a lot happening. We've got the Pupford app. If you have not downloaded the Pupford app, you 100% need to do that. It has the 30 Day Perfect Pup class in there. It has trained by behavior. Awesome stuff in there. You need to download it. It's available on Android and iOS. And we're going to be continuing to come out with new features on that app. I can tell you, we're working hard on a lot of things in that app. So if you haven't already, please go download it. So for today's giveaway winner, the giveaway winner is Patty Thornton. If you are on here, Patty, please DM Pupford. Don't DM me, just because sometimes those go to like spam filters with Facebook Messenger. So let me see if I can't. Patty Thornton, you are the winner. Awesome. So if you weren't a winner, don't worry. In about a day and a half, Saturday morning, you're going to have the opportunity to buy these freeze-dried chicken training treats. And if you weren't here to hear it in the beginning, so long story short, are bags. That happens in life, right? But you are the one who's going to benefit, because when you buy one bag, right, like one bag of treats, you're actually going to be getting 2 of these bags. So you're going to get 600 total treats during our launch deal that's starting on Saturday. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm telling you, it is a heck of a deal. I mean, it's a great deal. So keep your eyes peeled for that. My dogs they're going like way crazier wrestling. I'm sure more plugs are about to get unplugged. Thanks for being a little patient on this one. I know things were a little crazy. My dogs were going crazy. They were wrestling. I got licked in the face. It's been a wild one, but thank you so much for being a part of this community. And if I could just make one more plea to all of you who are watching, I know there's only a handful left on here, but please, 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 if you see things in the community that don't go along with positive reinforcement, if people are being rude, we don't need that, okay? Like, we just don't need it. So if you're being rude, stop. If you see people being rude, report the comment. Every comment and post in the community, there's the little like 3-dot menu next to it. You can click that and you can click report to admin or something like that verbiage, and you can report it to us and we can take care of it. Because here's the thing, when you get 20,000 plus people in a community, there's obviously going to be differing opinions. There are going to be people from different cultures. There's going to be different languages. You add all those things in, and there's going to be people who get cranky or who are rude, and we're not down for that in this community. Like, this is a community where it needs to be positive. People need to learn from each other. People need to be helping each other out. We're already all frustrated a lot of times with our dogs and trying to figure things out, and all those things. So just let's make this community a better place. Like, for all of you still listening, please, please, please report comments or posts that do not go in line with positive reinforcement or break the rules in any other way, and we will take care of it. We do our best to really monitor the community, but let's be real. There's like hundreds and hundreds of posts per day, thousands of comments. We can't catch it all. So hopefully you enjoyed this live. We will see you guys next time, and thank you.